Your name is Rhapsody, and welcome back, Rhapsody, to Monster Train 2. Ooh, Awoken Lead, Under Legion Follow. That's a lot of buffs to hit with Propagate. Also, Heart of the Pact is our base. Fire Heart. After playing your card, or a card rather, from your primary and allied clan, draw an additional card next turn. We don't have any free cards, unfortunately. 2 copies of Wildwood Sap in the base deck. Regen 4 and Health 4 as well now. Gooey Blast, 2 copies of that. Consume, apply Sap 2 to enemy units. That's 4 Consume cards in the base deck already. Pretty exciting. And Husk Hermit. 1 Ember, 2 size on sweep. Sorry, on sweep. That it has no trigger on sweep. It does sweep. And on revenge, it gains 3 additional damage. So we know a lot of the things that we're gonna do here. Seraphiturnus Chosen of Entropy, probably gonna make our sweep unit quick. Probably gonna throw it behind that sentient and then have a secondary floor that does some kind of decay nonsense. Maybe incant decay nonsense. Who knows? We'll see. At the moment, let's check out this artifact. Oh, Sap Tap. First time each turn a friendly unit is healed, draw 1. That is just draw. Oh no. I mean, Sap Tap, to be fair, will be triggered regardless. God, maybe I go Cultivating. I don't think I've been doing Cultivating at all? Question mark? No, apparently I have done it here. Even on the final level, you only draw 1 additional card each turn. Good gosh. I kind of wanted the Explosive Rejuvenate line here. It's really good if you can hit 3 levels of this, because the final level does 120 damage to the front enemy unit, so it's actually a significant portion of a 500 health unit's health. Unfortunately, if you only get 2 levels in it, you only get up to 60. It doubles each level, 30, 60, 120. This is a thing that I find a bit strange in this game. A lot of the value that you get from upgrade lines for your champions is lost if you diversify, and there are some champions where diversifying is very obviously the right thing to do. For instance, Wildenton. You get a slightly larger incant trigger, but the ability is the same on all of these 3 levels. Cooldown 3, add 3 sting spells to hand. So why not go for something that also gives you quick, enchant quick to the rest of the floor, or sweep as well? So like diversifying on Wildenton makes so much sense because you don't really get that much additional benefit from upgrading across the line. Like here, it's quick, multi-strike 1, multi-strike 2. Rather than quick, multi-strike 1, multi-strike 3. You know, like the increase is linear rather than doubling each time. And then on Sentient, Explosive is 30, 60, 120. And 60 just doesn't really cut it at the end game. All that to say, I'm going to be taking the Cultivating Sentient and trying to make some work of that here. Bristling is currently only really... I mean, Gnarled Root was offered to me, so I could have 15 damage on this Sentient if I really wanted. But it's also offering me the ability to do AoE clearing, which is already what the Husk Hermit does. So now Husk Hermit probably wants to run on its own line, independent, and the Sentient is going to want some other unit behind it. Ideally a multi-striker, so it's capable of taking care of big health enemies. Given our setup though, this is where we'll start. I mean, I do want to stack regen. The more the regen that I stack, the better off that I will be. Let's drop a Spear Steward there. Take out the Ominous Acolyte as well, so the Fallen Champion comes up having taken a decent amount of damage. We're probably not going to be taking out that single Fallen Champion on the top line. Yeah, it definitely doesn't look like it here. But it's only going to get to deal 4 damage to us. Could be a lot worse. Take 1 damage to the Vengeful Shard as well. Not thrilled about that either, frankly. Spore Touch, so I could give 4 damage to someone, which is 12. Yeah, so I still can't take out that Fallen Champion. So I think I'm going to throw a Spore Touch on each of the healers. And it's not time to start sapping Uriel. Unfortunately, if I sap on this top line, everything's actually worse. Yeah. Let's decay Uriel 3 times. I need the enemy on the top line to attack so I get my Cultivate trigger as well. Nice. Yeah, way more damage than I wanted to take. But it really shows what is the problem with this deck already, which is we're very good at projecting damage, we're awful at just dealing it. Restoration Detonation, 15 health to a friendly front-friendly unit. Deal damage to the front enemy unit equal to 5 times the amount healed. Love it. Razorsharp Edge is also incredible, though. 1 Ember, apply 12 additional damage, and lose 2 health. Very powerful. I already have ways to heal. I don't have ways to give additional damage, and that's what I need. So I'll probably take Razorsharp Edge. And then there's also a sting. Loam Code. Loam Code. On Resolve, gain regen 1 and then propagate 2. I mean, I'm just gonna take that. Great piece of equipment. Incredible defensive piece of equipment. Merchant of Steel, Underlegion, Merchant of Magic, Awoken. I kind of want to go Merchant of Magic, Awoken looking for an Animus. I'll take either Animus, realistically. I'm certainly happy that it is the Animus of Will, though. With 2 times multi-strike, you are a great target for this Razorsharp Edge, and for standing behind Sentient. Cultivate, by the way, just because it's not a common keyword, Cultivate increases the damage and health of the lowest health friendly unit by the Cultivate value whenever it's triggered. So that will almost always be the Animus of Will, whereas the Sentient is sometimes lower health than the Husk Hermit, so the Sentient was taking the buffs some of the times previously. Upgrade a card to permanently remove Consume. I gotta say, Consume is really... like, Consume removal on one of these? Well, it slaps pretty hard. Let's -1 the Razorsharp Edge. Just want to always be able to play that. I'm going to remove a Consume. That for regen 4 additional health is not going to matter much in the late game. The Sap 2 still will. So I'll remove Consume from that. And then -1 cost Permafrost. Realistically, it only really makes sense to throw this on one of the flasks. But I'm actually going to hold and not take anything there. I think we're in a good enough position that I can take a little bit more advantage into the Merchant of Steel in the next area. Take a lot of health support to keep the Husk Hermit on the bottom alive as well. But you're going to get so much damage if I can. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about that Collector. I guess theoretically, a heal might draw what I need. Okay, I'll try it. Things got worse. There's the Razorsharp Edge. Now we're fit to take care of enemies. Good to see. Unfortunately, I'll be taking 10 damage. Oh, I'm just really not good at dealing single target damage. Just imagine how good Explosive would be right now. Oh boy, everything would be fine. Wow, we actually lose a lot of damage by laying a defensive unit there. I wonder if I went with double heal if I would win that lane. I don't need to, granted. Oh, a single heal does it. Interesting. That said, I'm worried enough about my health at this point that I will just take the double vengeful shard option, because we do win on the next line anyway. Yeah, I'm not just reasonably confident about that. Certain. The Razorsharp Edge does incredible work. Literally 36 additional damage. Sharpen. Apply 6 damage and spikes 6. I do have to say, good. Vine Grasp also, though. Advanced deal 3 damage. That's just a revenge trigger. Sharpen with the 6 damage and 6 spikes. The thing is, like, I don't want 2 units to be sweeping at the same time. So spikes would probably then want to go on Husk Hermit, which just feels wrong. Give me the Vine Grasp for the trigger, for the revenge trigger, and I'll take a Proliferate to propagate 2 on all units on the floor. Debuffs on enemies, buffs on allies. Merchant of Steel shows us a large stone and an immortal stone. See, this is the annoying thing, right? This is a sweep unit. It's a defender that has a revenge trigger, so it wants to be in the front line, and then it sweeps because all the units that attack it die. This is a sweep unit. 1 Ember, 2 size, Etch, apply Decay 8 to enemy units. So you play Consume Guard on the floor, and then all the enemy units take 8. Which is 24 at the end of the turn because it's Decay. These are the 2 things that I possibly need the least right now. And yet here they are. Smugly standing here like I should care. Like... Ugh. Chosen of Entropy. Like, it feels like the correct thing is take the Prickly Buff Ball, give the Prickly Buff Ball a large stone, maybe even give it Endless, so I can just play it constantly in front of the Husk Hermit. And then the Husk Hermit, I have to give size using a single Razorsharp Edge, and then this Animus of Will grows with Sentient. That all feels really stupidly slow. But it's going to be better than trying to use Consume triggers on Moral Mistress in order to take out the occasional high HP enemies. Gosh. I don't want to give a large stone to the Animus of Will. Despite the additional damage, it doesn't really benefit from the additional health. In fact, the additional health means the Cultivate triggers don't hit the right target. Blech. I'd like not to be doing this. I just happen to be doing this at the moment. Endless so I can play you again, and now maybe I can even overstack you. No, we have the ability to apply Quick. We have the ability to apply Trample. Applying Quick is certainly good, but it stops a lot of revenge triggers. And also, if I do get Quick on you, I still will need to be able to do damage. Trample's never going to be especially good for us. Unnamed Tome is just always good. You pretty much always happen to have at least 1 copy of it. I think if I need Quick, I get Quick. I think if I need Mute, I need Mute. And Trample, realistically, is only likely to be relevant to the Animus of Will, which actually has swung me fully in that direction. I mean, like, if I can buff that Animus of Will enough, I am going to need it to be able to flatten through a couple of big health enemies. Okay, engage Rage 4 on Siphon. God, I wonder if this is the choice. Because I do need to scale over the course of the fight. I could use Decay as a revenge trigger. Yeah, you'll take 6 damage this turn, 3 damage next turn, but you'll gain 6 damage over the course of that. And that's something. I'm not going to want to get the Sport Touch too high, granted. But this is fine. Yeah, it's this next kind of flaw that really needs me to have Trample. There's that Razorsharp edge coming in clutch. Oh, way too much rage for the top liner there. Woo. Oh my god, I have a Heart of the Pack. I've basically never triggered it. Okay, next line's already handled. Let's Gooey Flask and Proliferate. Yeah, frankly, a little bit more Sport Touch for you, buddy. Alright. These lines are feeling pretty appropriate. Next line does our real damage, so I don't need to worry too much here. Yeah, because even if you do kill Prickly Purple, I just throw him again on the top line. Best of luck doing it again. Okay, with that buff to our pile, we're back in the clean streets, baby. Channel Song, draw a unit, apply 20/20 and 0 cost to it. Old Growth. On Rejuvenate, gain 10 max health. Also, 10 max health. Pretty good if I just want to make one unit very, very tanky. Realistically, that keeps the Prickly Pop all alive forever. And Shard Channeler. Anyway, I'm going to take Old Growth. Shattered Shell. Yeah, you're very much the unit I should be using instead of Husk Hermit. And honestly, I have no support for Fungi, and I don't have real rally support, so I'm going to take the Shattered Shell. I'm just going to swap the two. Capacity is entirely unnecessary at this point. It's energy or it's draw. I think draw first, energy second, probably. Yeah, the speed of my access to my zero cost cards is going to be really important for a while. Merchant of Magic with a Pyramanes and an Empyrean Well. There's a non-zero chance I would just dupe the Razorsharp Edge, admittedly. Just some quick damage spike is really important in this deck. Especially if I could get Spell Chain. Yo, Holdover? Holdover means I don't dupe it, though. double stack on the Gooey Flask is also not half bad. It's got to be holdover that Razorsharp Edge, though. Then... I mean, I do like lowering the cost of the Umbra Stone, but I only need to play it once per battle. It's pretty easy to find the ability to do that. I'm reasonably likely with Old Growth to always have a target for a restore, so I'm just gonna zero cost one of those. Those are also really good for me drawing cards. I don't know, maybe it is Razorsharp Edge. You know how much damage I could stack with that? So the Animus of Will would have to be the unit that gets the Old Growth, just so that I can give it enough max health to be able to constantly hit it with 2 Razorsharp Edges a turn. But it's 36 additional damage every time I play one, so that's 72 additional damage every turn. That's not... By the end game, that doesn't scale well. By the early game, that's incredible. I suppose there's also the option of duping the Prickly Puffball. So, like, bottom floor is sentient with a Shattered Shell behind it. Next floor is Prickly Puffball with a Animus of Will behind it. And then the next floor is another Prickly Puffball with a Husk Hermit behind it. That seems exceptionally unnecessary. I guess there's an argument to do Old Growth. Gosh. I'm a little stuck here. Screw it. I'm gonna do Razorsharp Edge and I'll figure out how to use it. I'm drawing 3 additional cards a turn right now. I'll be able to pay for drawing 2. The main concern becomes supporting the health of the units that I'm going to be eating. This is also going to be really important in this fight, because Cael the Corruptor is otherwise going to enter the field and give 5 corruption to all of our units, and if it does that, pretty much instantly, both my Shattered Shell and my Animus of Will, my backline units, die. So I want to fight as low as possible here. Husk Hermit can literally just get thrown on top, and that'll sort that for us. Prickly Animus. Yes. Cool. I'm going to decay my own sentient here. Oh, we got the double Razorsharp Edge. Perfect. There we go. The Animus of Will is basically ready to die. Give you trampled, make you even more effective. Some Wildwood Sap for the bottom line. And that should all work out, I think. So we'll Old Growth the Animus of Will, then hit you with a Restore, allowing me to throw 2 more Razorsharp Edges on you, getting you all the way up to 210 damage. Up to 300 now. Even happier news is the Prickly Puffball is going to die this turn, which gives me the opportunity to replay it, because it's endless. Okay, now I should focus on getting additional health on the Animus of Will, to be fair. And that'll do it. Get him on the bottom line, Cael. Ooh, only just. High aggro. Draw -2 next turn, +1 energy per turn for the rest of the battle. Big fan of that. Especially when I've got as much access to draw as I do. Engulfed. Draw an additional card next turn, gain an energy, restore 1 health. If I had a rejuvenate trigger, I was about to say other than old growth, but old growth's really happy to see this. This also immediately triggers Sap Tap, but so much of my deck does. I'm gonna take Biaggro because it's a much harder effect to approximate with other things. Pox. Consume. Deal 20 damage and apply Decay 10 to all units on the floor. Yeah. Cheery Death Cap. On summon, apply Decay 7 to enemy units. I mean... there's floors I can play this on. None of these help me deal, like, all of these are, like, sweet, unsupported, sweet. I can spawn, but then I block my revenge. No, that's... I need bigger damage against singular targets. Imagine Magic unstable with some removals is nice. That said, there's Merchant of Steel and a dupe there, and, like, I definitely have things I still need from Merchant of Steel. That was one of them. Hello, multi-strike. Pop that on the Shattered Shell. I'm not gonna be supporting the additional health of another frontline unit. I'm done with that. Reroll. Didn't find Quick, unfortunately. Mini Stone. How thrilled would I be to also put Ask Hermit on the same floor with the Shattered Shell? Anti-thrilled, whatever the opposite of thrilled is. Dismayed, terrified. Definitely should have looked at this unit first. If I really wanted to, I could go very far out of my way to try and also add a Thorned to this deck and support it. It wouldn't help me, but I could do it. This dupe feels like it's much more appropriately an old growth. We've got at least 2 targets who desperately want to be wearing one. Non-boss enemy units restore 150 health when they move up a floor. Now the enemy has Harpists, so our big real defense floor is going to want to be on the very top there. Sick, we get double slay there. Let's give you old growth and a single restore. And then I'll Spore Touch my own unit on the bottom line. That's the Heart of the Pact. As well as a bunch of additional Cultivate triggers. Knights. Okay, we drew the Razorsharp edges basically as late as we possibly could. Unfortunately, it looks like that is going to prevent me from being able to stop that Fallen Executioner. Yeah, best I can really do this turn is sap you. Thankfully, I know, because we are at the very bottom of the deck... oh, God. Yeah, I forgot about that. You go to the very top line as well. With your full health. There we go. Now I've got all the damage to push through you. Then this old growth on the bottom line. The Wildwood Sap. They're going to come up with 100 health. Oh, boy. I'm worried about these Fallen Executioners, certainly. Oh, good. I've got to proliferate their sap and decay as well. That might help. Please! Please win on the bottom line! Okay, I'm actually... Okay, there we go. I was astounded that we hadn't managed to win on that bottom line yet, but after the Loam Coat, the additional 20 health, we have... Cael's back in a dire position. You're gonna have to hit another Pyramanes. Edgebriar, healing and regen spells cost -1 on this floor. Admittedly, that does allow me to play them on the Sentient floor for free. And with the amount of draw I have, that's probably a good idea. Mushy Room. Apply Sap 3 to enemy units at the end of combat. Not huge on that. I'll take the copy of Pandemic for single target. Sap and disable. Yeah, I mean, it's about time I hit a Merchant of Trinkets. I was admittedly pretty excited to hit a Merchant of Magic. Sorry, Merchant of Magic, a Merchant of Arms. I'm gonna have to go to the Merchant of Arms in the final area, because I still need to hit another Merchant of Steel, looking for a possible quick, ideally. Merchant of Trinkets, I need your Pyramanes. Start a turn out of Vine with Ephemeral to your hand. Perfect. Great way for me to trigger a Revenge every turn. On deployment phase, draw a room card from your deck, reduce cost to 0. I don't have a room card yet, but I do intend on going to a Merchant of Arms to fix that. Never mind. Awakening Thicket. This is a room. Friendly units have 20 additional health and restore 10 health on resolve. I'll take that. That's going to get drawn into our opening hand now. So here's the thing. Now I really want to change my ordering again. I'm going to do it. So Prickly Puffball, you now want to be on the bottom line. And then Shattered Shell behind. And then that leaves Sentient Animus of Will to be on the same floor. Both of you are going to have your Rejuvenate triggers. Old Growth on each of you. Actually, it doesn't need to be on the Animus of Will in the backline now that we're getting the... Oh, no, because we... I guess it really depends how many times we even get to play it. So big thing right now, we need Shattered Shell to get to the position where it can start taking out Vampiric Cherubs. If I got to decay it, I got to decay it. Ooh, that's a lot of damage on the Ravenous Zealot. I'm glad it's going to die. Then I can even throw Edgebriar on this floor to make the additional healing support even cheaper. Hold up. If I can find a way to also play the Umbra Stone, I should. And yeah, it looks like my choice is basically between Edgebriar and a bunch of spells. or Umbra Stone. And honestly, I think Umbra Stone's probably the choice. Oh, but then if I'm not healing this turn, I don't even draw the additional damage. Maybe I don't play Old Growth in this first cycle. Yeah, that'll be it. I do need to get the additional damage on the Animus of Will this turn, because I get it again next turn at least. But it's going to need a lot faster scaling given the lack of damage on the Shattered Shell on the bottom line here. Decay you. Here to proliferate on the floor. Yeah, this is all pretty bad. That Vampiric Cherub needs to die. Chosen Bastion's gonna set up with that much. Chosen Bastion's gonna be annoying, but unless it also gets another buff from Cael, it's not gonna be too bad. Okay, it got pretty bad. So this is 12 damage and then lifesteal to the Chosen Bastion, who's going to go up and hit us for damage. They're going to strike us for damage points, and those damage points are going to be a lot of them. So the additional 12 takes you to 21 with 150 health and 15 Titan skin. You'll be taking 45 damage from each hit, which means you get to strike me 4 times with 21 damage, which means I die. Yeah. Yeah. I really tried my best to make big, large damage number. The fact the Shattered Shell was never... You know what? This is my mistake. I needed to drop a Razorsharp Edge on the Shattered Shell much earlier. Probably on the first turn when I hit the Animus of Will instead. I'm gonna redo it. I know. I know. Do what you can, because you must. The Pandemic manages to take down the Vampiric Cherub there. Yeah, that's it. The Shattered Shell having enough damage that it's capable of taking out the Vampiric Cherub on the bottom line it's the most important thing, frankly. With 5, you are not dying just to the Shattered Shell at the moment, unfortunately. You are getting eaten by the Scarred Sentinel, which I can't really prevent. I guess if I Vine Grasp you to the front, I can prevent that. What helps the rest of this turn most? I guess it will be the Umbra Stone. Chosen Bastion's currently in the position to do exactly what it did last time. I suspect I have to pull you to the front. Find a way for you to definitely die. I say, while not managing to kill you. Very close to death, though. Triggers after combat. So I don't know if Cael is going to give... I don't think Cael gives the buff to Chosen Bastion before Chosen Bastion dies. So I think this means that the Scarred Sentinel gets the buff. And then you go to the top with... what? 20 damage skin? And life... oh god, we just die again. How do I get enough damage to kill him in time? It's so big. It's so much Titan skin. Did I have to take Fight Club previously instead? Literally just for the 15 damage on this floor? Lose out on Awakening Thicket constantly? Is that really what the game wanted me to do? Well, damn. We only got hit twice. We're alive. Literally, it just needed to not be the Bastion. We're okay. We just made it. Oh boy. Excuse me. Why is that Endless Man up there? That man, I did not put that man there. That man go there. Famously, that man go there. I'm start sapping it up with the pandemic. This is a good opportunity for me to drop 2 more Razorsharp Edges and burn out my first Calcified Ember. Yeah, this is going to struggle so much when I'm dealing with 500 health enemies as well. Ugh. Animus of Will, how do I make you grow faster than this? Your fastest is simply too slow, Traveler. I'm going to decay my own Prickly Puffball just so that at the end of this turn I can replay it. On full Ochpa. All works out in the end. Like, by now it's doing 600 damage apiece, but still. Racking Pain, deal damage equal to 3 times the debuff stacks on this unit. I mean, admittedly, when they go to the bottom line at least, they do have some decent debuff stacks on them, so... maybe I do take Racking Pain and work towards giving him more debuffs. Unleash the Wildwood is fine. No, No, you know what? It's nice to have one single spell that will just do a full heal. I said I was going to go energy, did I not? It's a little bit more deployment ember, especially as well. I'll take it. I'm not thrilled about that yet. We need to find out what to do with that deployment ember to make it worth its while. All right, come on, and don't you dare dodge the quick. There it is. Quick and additional damage. Then I gotta be honest, I really don't need any of the other upgrades. That was what I was looking for. I was gonna go as deep as I needed to get that. There's definitely a large part of me that thinks I should also grab another Razorsharp. I just need to be scaling faster, and if it is my best scaling option, then I need to go all goddamn in on it. First off, let's get rid of all these stewards that are never going to get used. It's not your day, steward. 4 cards removed from the deck. 150 health when they move up a floor. Yeah, so this is really bad, but also it's good. So here's the really bad thing about it. If an enemy manages to survive the second floor, I lose. However, that's also pretty much where we're at the moment by default. I want to justify being able to take this. I don't think I can, but I also think I lose. How do I explain? I think that I probably lose this fight even if I don't take this. But I think if I manage to win this fight, this will make barely any difference. But it will result in us having 400 additional gold on the other side of the fight. However, because I would feel very, very stupid if it turned out that I could have won it if not for the trial, I'm going to run this now. But let me just let you know, that's where I was operating from. Let me let you know. I know. So this gets down all of the Savagery Sweepers really, really easily. And then the main problem is multiple 400/500 health units on the second floor, and I need to kill them there. And you are already, I'm so glad I have a Razorsharp Edge in my opening hand. I don't think it's gonna make a difference, but I'm glad I have it. Let's give you trample. Spore Touch the Sentient so that you get a little bit more buffs. I can't leave like a blank middle floor as well because the Terrifying Amalgams will, with 26 health, literally kill me. This Avowed Gladiator's going all the way to the top. I can't do anything about that. Which also would have caused me to lose, so shout out to that. Well, got some Spore Touch. Oh, Razorsharp Edge is just enough now to kill the first Terrifying Amalgam. Oh, I don't do enough trample damage to kill the Collector, though. 90. So you're gonna hit me 2 times when you go to the top. Do I really have any way to stop that though? I'd need to deal almost 90 damage to you to prevent that. Oh, also, I definitely still need to kill the Terrifying Amalgam, so those Razorsharp edges need to be on the bottom line. Yeah, like I can spike my damage a little. No, you go to the top line and you hit me twice. I don't really get to change anything about that, unfortunately. I don't have a sap for you either. Never mind. Sap proliferates. And I'm going to make sure that I get the money. Even though I had to lose 2 health to unstable shards there, I do need the money. So I would be dead with the Heaven Seal now. However, with a 500 health and a 400 health right behind it, I'm pretty dead now no matter what. Yeah. That Terrifying Amalgam's going all the way to the top. Can't generate the damage to get over the top of them. Glad I can sap you again, though. Will that long-term end up saving me? No, probably not. We'll see. Why are you quizzing me about this? Oh, right. I'm playing the game. Got it. Was throw an additional sport touch on top, because if it matters, it matters, and if it doesn't, it's fine. Good gosh. Are you kidding me? Alright. I'm willing to admit it at this point. Had I taken the Heaven Seal, I would have lost. And it now looks like, having not taken the Heaven Seal, I will win. That's not how I thought that was going. Yeah, I mean, realistically, as long as they come to the next floor, we're fine. Right, they have a Terrifying Amalgam down there, which killed us. 4 health. So I return to my original statement. No matter what. The streak is dead. Long live the new streak, which we'll get started on at the start of the next episode. But until then, let me tell you, my name's Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Monster Train 2 top left. This is a series playlist from all my content on the Game Pass, present, future YouTube recommendations down below. Stream past the names of the people so generously supporting the Republic on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays. At above the thank day, and a special thanks this episode to Corbo. Hopefully you'll all be enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you all next time.